A castle lost to time, a warbler that stole the show, and the world's most expensive cheese. Join us on a spring road trip through quiet country roads and lush green landscapes to the wild beauty of Zasavica Nature Reserve and the ancient ruins of a Roman capital. Hello everyone, welcome to Cat Couple Chronicles. Let's begin. Last week, we took a day trip to the Zasavica Special Nature Reserve in central West Serbia. On our way there, we made a spontaneous detour to see the Spitzer Castle in Beočin, a place we had wanted to visit for a while. Since we were passing through the town anyway, we thought why not? The roads were lined with blooming red poppies and dotted with cyclists enjoying the spring day. Unfortunately, when we reached the castle, we were met with a disappointing sign. Access and unauthorized entry to the facility of the old castle is strictly prohibited due to the possibility of collapsing and possible injury. The Spitzer Castle was built in 1898 by Edward Spitzer, who co-owned the local cement factory. After a short stop, we resumed our journey. Spring rains had painted the countryside in lush greens, and in the distance we could see the rolling hills of Sremska Mitrovica. Although the forecast had promised sunshine, the sky was mostly overcast, and we even drove through a light drizzle as we neared Zasavica. By 9 a.m., we arrived at the nature reserve.
How much it is?
10 euro.
In dinar?
1200. 601.
Sure.
What dakte to?
Tickets were 600 dinars per person. As we were getting them, we could hear the donkeys braying in the background.
Hello.
And I even met a cat, though he didn't seem very interested in chatting with me.
কিকু তুমি ট্রিট খাবে একটু ট্রিট খাবে না কেউ
Zasavica has been a protected nature reserve since 1977. It covers about 1825 hectares of floodplains, meadows, and forests along the 33-kilometer long Zasavica River. Almost right at the entrance, we saw a striking sculpture of a bull named Iskon, made from billion-year-old gneiss stone from Brazil, the hardest rock ever brought into Serbia. The reserve is home to several native breeds: Podolian cows, Balkan donkeys, goats, horses, and the curly-haired Mangulica pig.
বাঁ দিকে ব্রিজটা দিয়ে যাব বললাম যে
কষ্ট করে তুলছি এখানে তো ফুলগুলো বেটার আছে যখন ইচ্ছা হবে ক্যামেরা নামিয়ে জানি তো আমি তো
ও বাবা পুরো মাকড়সার জাল ছিল
A small pond nearby was filled with blooming yellow pond lilies. It was still early, and we had the place to ourselves, well, except for the mosquitoes and a few spider webs that greeted us as we walked across the bridge. We spotted a wooden observation tower 18 meters high, overlooking the vast meadow and the river. Before climbing it, I wandered near the reeds to listen for birds. I could hear sparrows and cuckoos, but one call stood out. It turned out to be the Great Reed Warbler. It was not shy at all and quite easy to photograph. Then we climbed the tower. Some of the steps were a bit wobbly, but the view from the top was worth it. The sun finally peeked out and we got a full 360-degree view of the reserve.
ছিল একটা, আমি এখান থেকে দেখতে পাচ্ছিলাম বোটের ওখানে লাইভ নট ছিল ওটা। ক্যামেরাটা কেমন নিয়ে আছে?
তোমাকে তো বললাম ওখানে রেখে দাও।
তোমারটা রেখেছি, নিজেরটা রাখি।
A pair of sparrows nearby were likely guarding the nest and keeping a watchful eye on us. By now, the cafe was getting ready for the day. We learned that the boat rides start at noon, and so we had plenty of time. We went to see the donkeys and noticed a beautiful iron vulture and some lovely mosaics along the way. I heard a frog croaking and followed the sound. Sure enough, a marsh frog was sunbathing in the pond. Inside the cattle area, I wasn't sure what to expect from the donkeys, but they turned out to be quite friendly. One of them even came up to us and seemed to be the unofficial greeter. We also saw a white stork carrying nesting materials back to its nest on top of the tower.
উঠলি কেন তুই?
A little foal was nearby trying to bray softly. It was adorable.
ধরো তুমি।
তুমি ঠিক গাধার আওয়াজ করতে পারো। এরা কি মাথায় হাত দেওয়া পছন্দ করে না?
এখন তুমি আমার কাছে আসছো, আমার কাছে আসছো, আমার কাছে আসছো।
আগে এলে তো ছবিটা হতো না,
ওই চুকে 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 চুকে।
তখন থেকে বলছি উঠলি কেন তুই? মাথায় হাত দেওয়া তোদের ভালো লাগে না?
ওটা কি তোর মা? ওটা কি তোর?
পুরোটাই ক্যানোয়িং এর।
তুমি আবার আসছো, আমার কাছে আসছো, আবার আসছো। বলি বাবা বলি, ওইটুকু ওইটুকু ওইটুকু।
বলে 11টা অবধি ভালো পাখি পাওয়া যাবে, ওরা আর কি ডিস্টারবেন্সটা করছে না।
দেখো দেখো দেখো, আমার এটা চিবোচ্ছে, দেখো প্যান্ট ধরে টানছে।
ভালোই হবে, আপডেট হয়ে যাবে একটু।
গান্ধী গান্ধী বাদ করছে, গান্ধী বাদ করছে, গান্ধী বাদ।
ওর বাবা মা আসছে তোমার?
Zasavica is also known for producing Pule cheese made from 60% donkey milk and 40% goat milk. It's the most expensive cheese in the world, requiring 25 liters of milk to make just 1 kilogram of cheese. Sadly, it was sold out when we visited. On a positive note, this could be a good enough excuse to visit Zasavica again, right? That's a climbing rose. Let's get a closer look. Just beside the rose bush, I saw this butterfly. It is a small heath. We then saw a group of people preparing for a kayaking session. They collected paddles, stretched their arms, and after some instructions, launched into the water in pairs. It was fun to watch.
আচ্ছা, কায়াকটা এতখানি ডুবে গেলেও কিছু এসে যায়, পেছনটা তো পুরো ডুবে গেছে। আচ্ছা, সবাই পেয়ারে করছে? ওরা তো বলছিল কারা কারা পেয়ারে করতেছে, অনেকেই পেয়ারে করছে। ভালো ইংলিশ বলেছিল এইটা লোক আছে। আচ্ছা, একটা ভালো হোল্ড করে জিনিসটা।
এটা দারুণ একটা জিনিস রেকর্ড হলো না, মানে পুরো শুরুটা কিভাবে হয়।
দেখে করতে ইচ্ছে করছে কিন্তু করা যাবে না।
We headed back for breakfast, ham and cheese sandwiches, coffee for me, and tea for the husband. A cardinal beetle landed on my backpack, possibly trying to join us. By noon, it was time for the boat ride. On the way, we spotted red admiral butterflies getting their daily dose of minerals. There were a couple of mallard ducks and a feisty coot chasing one of the ducks away. Here is a photo. The boat ride lasted 30 minutes, 15 out, then a U-turn and back. Tickets were also 600 dinars and paid directly on the boat. A guide joined us but spoke in Serbian, so we could only catch a few words. I asked him about beavers though, but since they are nocturnal, we didn't have any luck.
Tamo nalaze najvrednija mesta gde žive te retke biljne I životinjske vrste. Zasavica stavljena pod zaštitu 90.
One thing we realized, most of the reserve's activities start at noon. So if you are there for the boat rides and other attractions, a later arrival is better. But if you are like us, who love the quiet and want to explore nature in solitude, then it's best to come early. The water was so clear you could see plants beneath the surface. We saw more of Great Reed Warblers, a Eurasian collared dove, though I only got a blurry photo, a pygmy cormorant and a Night Heron flying past.
Se gnezdi egipatski ibis. Jedna od najređih močvarnih ptica Evrope.
We also spotted a pair of Great Crested Grebes and a very busy coot carrying nesting material.
14. godina kako se gnezdi. Stigle su pre
Back on land, we saw the pond's fountain had been turned on. After Zasavica, we drove to Sremska Mitrovica to see the ruins of Sirmium, one of the Roman Empire's capitals. The ruins are part of what used to be the city's trade quarter and high street. Several Roman emperors were born here, and leaders like Constantine the Great once lived in this city. Most of the ruins are buried beneath the modern-day Mitrovica, but a portion has been excavated and preserved. We didn't visit Sirmium Palace nearby, where more ruins are displayed.
ওয়েদারটা ঝলমলে হয়ে গেছে তো
The sun was blazing by then, so we treated ourselves to ice cream in the city center. I chose mango and vanilla in a big cone. We strolled to the town park where we saw the stone flower fountain, designed in 1948 by Irina Nepokoichishka, the city's first known female architect. On our way back to the car, we passed a beautiful wall mural, an artistic tribute to the Roman heritage of the city. All in all, it was a day full of surprises and a whole castle we couldn't enter, a singing warbler, and a peaceful nature reserve. Even though we missed out on the famous cheese, we got plenty of fresh air, cute animals, and a glimpse into ancient history. Thanks for tagging along with us. See you next time. Bye bye.